Welcome to the Bob and Tam Show today.
And our excellent adventures.
There you go. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk a little bit about Sturgis. What's Sturgis? It's the largest motorcycle rally in the United States. So let's get to it.
Let's go. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and think about Patreon.
You know, today's video is going to be talking a little bit about Sturgis. You know, maybe you've been there a bunch of times, or maybe to this year it's going to be the very first time you go to Sturgis. You know, there's a handful of things we're going to go through today, about 5 or 6, that things you just need to know if you're going to Sturgis. You know, even if you've been there for many years, the more we do this, the more we're spending time in Sturgis, especially these last 2 years. We've been there over 40 days the last 2 years, and been able to see people coming and going and things like that. We kind of see some different things and maybe some tips here that we can help you out if you're thinking about Sturgis. You know, the first thing you got to do is you got to figure out, where the heck am I going to stay at?
That's always a good question.
You know, are we going to stay in a hotel? Are we going to, we're going to camp? Are we going to, you know, where else are we going to do? Are we going to rent a trailer? Or are we going to have a tent? Or, you know, what the heck are we going to do? So, you know, that's the first thing you got to figure out is, you know, what we want to do. You know, people always say all this stuff is, you know, things can be very, very expensive. You know, we got some videos, and we'll probably put one up here in the top that you can go back and check into that we already did this year about where you might want to stay based on what you want to see. Because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, it's just so expensive to Sturgis, I can't go. You know, there's actually some federal land there that you can stay in. Actually, there's some right outside of Deadwood, which that video is going to show you a little bit where that's at. You can go out to the Badlands. You can stay out there for free. There's a lot of different places that you can stay. And all them places are what we call dry camping, which means they're not going to have anything. No electric, no water, no bathrooms, no nothing. Or we've rented somebody's basement before. And that worked out really well. You know, you had a garage, we could put our bikes in there. All that really worked out as a good option to do. You know, we've also rented an RV out there already, so we've done that one. We've rented the cabin. Actually, it's a shed. They're not cabins. And
it's all in for you. And
yeah.
Not all cabins are created equal.
That's right. So those are some of the options you have, and you have to figure out. And yes, you could spend a lot. We've heard some people say that some of the hotels in town, in Sturgis, and also out there at Deadwood, you're looking over $400 a night. So yes, it can definitely get really expensive. So that's the first thing you got to figure out is, hey, where do I want to stay? What do I want to spend? You know, there's also some yards in Sturgis. So you can stay in their front yards for $10. A lot of the campgrounds, I think the Sturgis campground there, I think it's $10 or $15 a day. You can stay there. So there's a lot of really decent places if you just want to bring a tent and save you some money. So you found your place you want to stay. What's the next thing? You know, everybody always wants to know, how expensive is it to drink in Sturgis? I mean, like drinking some beer, drinking some hard liquor. You know, what's that going to cost me? Am I going to have to spend $10, $15, $20 for a freaking beer or a mixed drink? No, you do not have to. There's a lot of great places in Sturgis and around Sturgis that you can go and you can actually get reasonable priced alcohol at a bar.
That's right. There's the Vets Club down there on Main Street, right on Main Street, catty corner kind of from the museum. And you can go to the American Vets, is that what it's called out there in Piedmont? American Legion, out in Piedmont, and they have reasonable drinks and food, and both of those I think have food, and then the one there on Main Street also has entertainment. So I think there is a cover charge for some of their entertainment they have there, but it's a good place to go and get some cheap drinks if we're going to go there first, and then head down and have a expensive drink down at one of the other bars.
That's a couple of options that you have. You know, you can also, if you're at a campground or at a hotel, you know, you can actually buy your own alcohol. You know, you can go on into Spearfish or in Rapid City, and they got a Walmart and stuff. It can save you a little bit of money versus buying it in town in Sturgis. So that could save you a little bit of money too. You know, some of the other things that you want to think about is a lot of the Elks, the Mooses, a lot of the veteran halls, they all open up during Sturgis, and anybody can come in. They always welcome everybody because they want your money too. But what they don't do is they don't raise their prices up. So that's one of the places that you can go and get reasonable priced drinks and food. So that kind of marks that off the pilot. You know, there is some other videos that we'll put up here too and let you know about that. You know, we've got a bunch of places that we recommend that have great food. There's a couple places that do not raise their prices up during Sturgis, which that's always important too. So, you know, you can get by and save money if you watch where you're going. This year we're staying at Kathmandu, and they have their own private bus that takes you downtown, back and forth. Sturgis Campground, they've got a little shuttle over there that hauls people around. Don't know where all the places they take you to, but they've got a thing there. And there's a couple other campgrounds in the area that have their own. There's also the bus. You can get a pass. You want to get one for the whole week, you can get it for just a day. You can go to their website, it's thebus.com, and you can see all the stuff. You can also go to, is it Jonesy? Jonesy also has a setup too that goes to a lot of the same campgrounds, things like that. So you want to look at that. You know, when it comes down to Uber and taxis and things like that, you really want to stay away from those during the rally. We heard that taxis and Ubers and Lyft, all that stuff, the few that they have out there, most of them are coming out of Rapid. We heard last year to get a ride from the Full Throttle down to the airport was going to cost you $300 one way. Now there's also a van service out there too that if you book it ahead of time and tell them what days you want to be dropped off, what day you want them to come back and pick you up, that can all be arranged. That'll work.
That was pretty reasonable. I think that was like $60 and that was the round trip.
Yeah.
But you have to know the dates. You need to be picked up in the time and the date both ways.
And you can't do it during the rally. You can only, it all has to be pre-done. You go back and watch one of our videos, we show all that stuff. You know, next thing you want to do when you come to Sturgis is, where the heck do I want to ride my motorcycle? You know, there's a lot of places, and believe me, we go out there, and even if you went up in the Black Hills and start riding in some of the neighborhoods up there in Rapid City, they can actually be a fun ride. A ride you can ride along the side of the train, the old steam engine, you can ride along that, that's pretty neat. There's some really great rides out there. You know the well-known ones, Spearfish Canyon, right there right out of Sturgis there, actually out of Spearfish. And you can also go out there to Iron Mountain, and you can go out to Needles Highway. You know, those are probably the three most well-known ones, but there's a lot of great rides out there. There's another one coming right out of Sturgis, which is Von Knocker Road. That's a really great one too. It's Von Knocker Canyon Road, I guess is the way it goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of really great riding. You know, if you want to do some long distance riding, you know, you can go out there to Devil's Tower. That's kind of a ride out. You know, you're not going to get a lot of twisty, turny hills. It's pretty much you're going through the plains. Same thing if you go out to the Badlands out there. You know, you got quite a ride to get out there. You can spend a whole day out there. By the time you leave early in the morning, getting out there, riding through the park. So you can check that out. You can also go out there to Wall's Drugs. We talk about that in other videos. I mean, there's a lot of great rides out there. Just riding through all the little towns. Go out there and ride through Custer. Or you can go to the state park out there and see the bison and the animals and stuff like that. And you can go out there and go through Hill City, and you can go through. There's just a ton of little towns out there that you can ride around in and spend a whole day. And you can make a couple days out of it. And there's a lot of little back roads that you can take. And a lot of our videos that we have already put out will show you a lot of those different rides. You know, there's some great things to see when you're out there in Sturgis. You know, we just talked a couple of them, you know, going out to the Badlands. And, you know, if you're come from an area, a big city, and you've never seen that kind of stuff, you know, it's not bad to go out there. But, you know, if you're only doing a 2 or 3 or 4 day trip, you may not want to spend that much time going out and seeing things like that. But you might want to go down to Mount Rushmore. Yeah. You know, that you can get in. It costs you to park. You've also got Crazy Horse there. You can go in there and check that out. They got a museum and all kinds of stuff. That's a little bit more money there to check that one out. But those are some different events that you can do. Going through the state parks are going to cost you. During the rally, it's about $10 for a bike. Before the rally, they charge $20 a bike. So check out Deadwood. You can go out there and gamble if you want. They've actually got a park out there that's right across Legends Hotel and restaurant and all that good stuff. They have bands and stuff there. They have all kinds of different entertainment. All the little towns like that. You go out to Custer. All these little towns that are out there in the Black Hills or pretty much in the general area, all set up just for motorcycle rally. They usually block off the main drag going through town to where they only allow bikes to drive through, and also the park there, which really makes it nice. Some of the other little towns, really, they only have they only got one road that comes through town, so they do allow motorcycle parking on both sides, but they don't usually allow any cars there until farther down. Just so much stuff out there to see, and we got a lot of videos showing you all the different things. One of the most important things to think about when you go to Sturgis is you got to have fun. You know, a lot of people come for just the concerts or this or that, and what you've got to do is take in South Dakota. You know,
beautiful.
The people that actually live there, that have lived there their whole life, they're a whole different breed. If you're coming from California or New York or Canada or Texas, wherever you're coming from, the big cities, things like that, to talk to the people that are actually local people, you'll be very surprised. We were. You don't normally see that when you just come for a few days to a rally. You don't really see all that and feel that. Well, we didn't feel it until we did the 30 plus days there, to where we actually got to talk to some of the people. Plus, now with having a YouTube channel, we talk a lot more to those local people.
You'll be pleasantly surprised.
So that's the first thing you need to do, is make sure you spend a little time talking to the native.
South Dakotians.
Yeah, Dakotians, I guess that's what they talk to, the people that are there, that came from wherever they came from. You know,
make some new friends.
That's right. everybody, almost everybody we've ever talked to at a rally is more than happy to tell you their experiences, what they like, what they don't like, best places to eat, places they don't like to eat, good campgrounds. Remember, everybody's got an opinion, like everybody's got a
Beep.
So just make sure you talk to a lot of the people that's out there, especially if you get to some of the campgrounds like the Buffalo Chip. We met people there that have been going there for 20, 30 years. People down on Main Street sitting in front of some of the bars and stuff out front. Chat with them a little bit. You'd be surprised how many of those will tell you some stories about what Sturgis used to be like. If you're one of these people that have been there for the last 40 or 50 years, you've been there and you've seen it all, done it all, then we'd like to talk to you too.
Yep.
But, not everybody's been there.
Pick
like
your
us,
brain.
We've been going over the last, 15, 20 years off and on, we've been going, and we still don't see it all. And that's why we love Sturgis, because it's a never-ending thing. People always say that, isn't it all the rallies the same? And yes, basically they are. People are coming together, you're drinking, you're having some fun, you might hear some music, you might do some riding. Yeah, and there's some vendors, you might buy some new stuff for your bike. Yes, that's all the same. It's the same everywhere you go. But what makes it different is what you do. If you go out there and you, just like what we're saying, you go out there and have a good time, you bring out your buddies, your friends, your family, you go out and do some riding, it's just beautiful out there. We actually call it God's country. It's about all that's left, to see like that. And we want to just emphasize that because we just want you guys to experience what we have in the short period of time that you go on.
Number one thing is to go and enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Things are going to happen. That's life. Stuff happens, and you just have to move on and just have a good time.
Hopefully these were some good tips for you guys to help you out if you're thinking about going to Sturgis. Stay tuned to our channel. We're going to be pretty much putting out weekly, one video a week at least, that's going to be telling you all the things going on in Sturgis until we get there. It won't be happening while we're at a rally. We're up in Laconia. We may not be able to put one out down in Myrtle Beach, things like that. But other than that, we'll be putting a good steady flow of information about Sturgis. So you want to stay tuned to our channel, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell.
Ring that bell for notifications.
That's right. So that way you make sure you get all the good information when it comes out. Because what we do is we've got the city, the Chamber of Commerce, we got a lot of the campgrounds that have entertainment and stuff. They're in constant contact with us to give us the information as quick as they're getting it and putting it out. So
whenever we get information, we'll give it to you.
Yep. Sometimes we just go on a quick live to give you a heads up of, hey, this is happening or that's happened. So we want to let you know, there's a lot of prices are going up. After you've seen this one, the Buffalo Chip just went up on Monday. They just jumped in their price. They just announced a new band on Tuesday. So, stuff is coming out pretty fast. It's going on. So, the Full Throttles put their concerts out there. I'm not real impressed with their concerts this year, but it is what it is. If you get there early, it don't cost you nothing. You can get in free. And if you don't know how that is, it's if you arrive before 6 o'clock, get inside. They don't charge you anything to see the bands, which is what we always did for years until we started doing the Buffalo Chip. So, we'll leave you at that.
So I hope you got a lot of good information out of this. Check out our playlist. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends so we can grow a little bit bigger. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video.
You can also look right down here and we'll put our contact information that if you've got any questions or concerns, we're also on Facebook. Watching us on your phone or your computer, you just go down there and click down and it'll open up and show you all the different places that you can catch us at. Facebook page, we keep that up to date quite a bit. We have a ride and a whole bunch of different things going to be going on during Sturgis time. Check out those things. We'll keep you informed.
See you later.
Bye.